Hello everyone. It's been a while since our last video message, and things are starting to change. So I'd like to give everyone a quick update so we're all on the same page. Uh, let's begin. This update is going to go over the DOE versus the DOH, our drop-off procedures, when to stay home, vacations, and flu season. The DOE versus the DOH. So Steps to Success is mandated by the Department of Health and not the Board of Education. So the Board of Education governs public schools only. The Department of Health governs us. So they tell us what to do, when to do. They set all of our guidelines. They set all of our protocols that we follow. So we follow them. So I know there's been a lot of news going on lately that public schools might close on Monday. So if the mayor switches all of the students in public schools to full remote, we will not be closing. This is just for public schools only. DOH at this point has considered us an essential worker and is keeping us open. We hope that what happened back in March is not going to happen again. And at this point, we are clear to operate. If anything changes, as soon as we're told, we will let you know immediately. But as of right now, if schools go full remote, we will still be operating as we always have been. If there are any changes to our protocols that DOH sends out because of this, we will also let you know. But at this point, we are still able to operate even if schools close for in-person learning on Monday. I want to go over our drop-off protocols. The questions. I know that they're annoying. I could see by everybody's top half of their face that they're annoyed with the questions in the morning. And I understand. Trust me, Sophie and I don't like asking them every single day, and there's a lot of them, but we ask them every day for a reason. And we're asking everyone to answer honestly. Um, Ask yourself the questions at home, because I'm sure, like me, you've probably memorized them all. And if you answer a yes in your head to any of those questions, please keep your child home. It's really important at this point in time that we are extra cautious because cases are rising, especially on Staten Island. We are now in the yellow zone. So that means there is an abundance of COVID cases. We've already had the one here, and thankfully it was just the one. Class quarantined for 2 weeks, and everybody's been okay and safe. Naturally, again, this is not something that's completely unavoidable, but we can all do our part. So please answer the questions honestly. Listen to the questions as we read them. Say yes or no out loud so we can take them down quickly, and know that this is there for a purpose. And we're asking all families not to take the intake lightly, to be serious about it, because we want to avoid having to shut down another classroom for 2 weeks because it's not ideal for any family. So any excessive runny noses, any green or yellow mucus, any coughs that are more than light, like a cough here and there is okay, but if it's a consistent cough as well, these are all symptoms that need to be cleared up at home before any child returns to school. Any fevers or strong coughs need a doctor's note upon return. uh, Please don't have us send you home with a fever and then you come back the next day and there's no doctor's note, or you decide to come back the next day. We're going based on our thermometers, and we use the ear thermometer if we feel like there is a fever. So we're going to go based on that. It's really important that you follow up with your doctor. You at least call your doctor, let them know, let them advise you what to do, whether or not your child should be taking a COVID test. Please let your doctor decide. We also understand that the line is starting to get a little bit longer. We are opening the other door again as we are no longer short-staffed. So we're going to be opening the back door again for the classes that utilize the back door, and we are working as fast as possible. You, the parents, can help us out by moving the line quickly by doing a few things. Please do not undress your child in the vestibule. Don't take off their jackets, all this stuff, because it just takes extra time. Leave them dressed. It'll take 2 seconds for you to answer the question, send them on in, and the teachers will undress them. Have their backpacks on their back already as they walk into the vestibule. Give them a quick hug and a quick kiss. and let them come on in. It literally takes us no more than 30 seconds to ask the questions and take the temperature. So please help us out in that sense. If you need to call the center with a question, calling before 9:30 during intake is incredibly difficult for us to pay attention. Makes it difficult for us to pay attention to you and the parents that are coming in. So unless it is a real emergency, please do not call the center until after 9:30 when intake is pretty much done. And as a reminder, please, everybody should be in the center by 9:30. Dropping off at 10, 10:30, 11, honestly, with all due respect to everybody, that's completely unacceptable at this point. It's November. All of the children need to be in at 9:30. All of the staff need to start their day. The children need to start their day. It's becoming a great distraction when we have too many families that are coming in after 9:30. While you're waiting outside, it's a reminder to please make sure that you are social distancing. And prepare for inclement weather. If it's raining, snowing, bring an umbrella with you. Please don't crowd under the tent. You're invading other people's space. It's not welcomed. Many families have complained. There are the yellow dots, the orange dots, and the blue dots outside for a reason, to please stay on them. So if you see, check the weather. If it looks like it's going to rain or if it's going to snow, please make sure that you have an umbrella to stand outside with you, because even though we move quickly, there are still a lot of families we have to take in. Vacations. A lot of parents have been asking us about taking a vacation because the holidays are coming up, or everybody has COVID, fatigue, and doesn't want to stay here anymore. If you must travel, this is a big must. If you have to travel, and at this point, I think everybody should be really second guessing their travel decisions because of everything that's going around the country, around the world. All the cases are going up, and we are trying our best here to keep this virus out of our center. But if you must travel, be honest. Again, tell us where you're going. Tell us that you're going to travel, and then you must follow New York State protocol upon return. So Governor Cuomo a couple of weeks ago said that you no longer have to quarantine for the full 2 weeks when you go when you're traveling out of state and out of the country. The new protocol is that you have to quarantine for 4 days, and on your 5th day, take the test. Once your test is negative, then you can return to school. So Steps to Success is not accepting the rapid test results as at least Steps to Success 4 is not accepting the rapid test results as an indicator whether or not your child has COVID or not when they return from vacation. This is because we have seen too many cases where the result comes back negative, and then the PCR goes out and it comes back positive. So the rapid test is not accurate. So if you're going to travel, if you're going to be traveling, you quarantine for 4 days. The 5th day, take the PCR test. That's the one that gets sent out to the lab. Once that result comes in, your child is cleared to return to school. If you refuse to give your child the COVID test when you return from school because you don't want to test them, you don't want to go through it, that's completely fine. But then you must quarantine for the full 2 weeks, and there are no exceptions to this. I apologize if we're being a little harsh or being a little strict, but everything is going in the opposite direction that we want it to go in. Everything, instead of going down in numbers, is going up everywhere around the world, and we're only taking our precautions because we are worried about the kids, and we are also worried about the staff. We do have a lot of elderly staff members that are working here, and if we're taking our precautions, we need you to take yours. I don't want to see any child get sick, and I don't want to see any of my staff members get sick. So if you must travel, if you must take a vacation, you must follow this. Flu season. It's upon us. We're in November, and it's probably full force at this point. And I want everyone to remember the flu has not disappeared. That goes for all other child illnesses. Nothing has disappeared. So vaccines are still required for all students by December 1st. It is a Department of Health mandate, and I know I've said this before, that every child in the center must be vaccinated. You must also submit proof to us that your child is vaccinated so we can put it in your child's file. Please do so by December 1st if you haven't already done so. And I know a lot of families still haven't completed this, so you must complete it to avoid interruption in services. If anyone at home is sick, Please keep your child at home until that person is cleared by a doctor that is not COVID. This is one of the intake questions we ask you every day. Is anyone at home sick or have any COVID symptoms? We don't ask that just to ask it. We ask it because if someone at home is sick, there's a good chance that they can pass it off to your child. And we want to make sure that we are limiting the possibilities of something coming in here. So if you notice that someone in your family within the household that you live in is not well, please have them visit the doctor, make sure they get tested, they get cleared, and then your child can come back. The winter weather will not make things any better. It's just going to make things harder for everybody because, you know, the winter weather, more runny noses, more congestion, more coughs, more this, more that. And it's going to make it very hard for us to decipher whether or not something is or is not COVID. Because again, we're educators here. We're not in the medical field, and we're just going to go based on what we see, and go with our gut instincts. I'm going to emphasize that getting through this is just by working together and being honest. So plan from now what to do in case your child is sick. I understand everybody has work to do, whether you're working from home or you're working, if you go to your job and travel to and from the city or wherever it is, you must plan ahead from now to figure out what to do if your child is sick. Please don't just send them into school or send them into the center just because you need to get your work done and there's nowhere else for your child to go, so your child is kind of sick. There is no more kind of sick that's going to be admitted. If we feel that your child is in any way, any shape or form not well, we're going to send them home, and I'm going to tell you they need to stay home the next day until it's cleared up, and then they can come back with a doctor's note. At this point, there's no other way for us to get around this other than to be really strict in terms of our protocols. And I personally hope that everybody listening to this message understands that we all have the same goal, is to keep the center safe, keep the children and the staff, everyone healthy, and that's it. We will continue following all the protocols we follow here in terms of cleaning and sanitization and everything else that falls under that umbrella. But I need everybody at home that's watching this to also work with us here. And again, if you guys have any questions or any concerns, or you just need to speak just to clarify a few things, we're here to talk. Just call myself. You can speak to Sophie. But we all need to work together on this because things are not getting easier for New York, but that's okay. I don't want anybody to panic. I continuously say this all the time. Please don't panic. We're going to get through this. We're going to work together, but as long as everybody follows the protocols and everybody follows what we're saying here, then I think everybody should be okay. At least I hope so. But again, if we do get a COVID case, we will handle it appropriately, but we're trying to take preventative measures to decrease the possibilities of that happening. So thank you for listening, and if you have any questions again, please give us a call. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.